These people took a pontoon boat out and they wound up on Picnic Island and didn't realize with the high tide, they came in way too far. Weren't watching as it goes out. Now they're so far out that a normal high tide won't even come and float the boat.
Oh,
right.
wow.
So we had to send somebody. So this weekend, we had to send another boat out to pick them up and take them off. We don't like, because there's salvage rights involved in that too. So you have to be careful of that. So we had to notify the sheriff's department that boat's going to be left there and don't let anybody grab it,
Right.
So then we finally had to get seated. The next day that we went out, tried to pick up the boat. Again, it was so far up that even at high tide, it wasn't close enough to pull it off. And finally had to bring out a boat out and hook onto it and drag it off and stuff,
Well, this is Nathan Davis with the More Than Mortgage podcast and community lending. And I have with me today my good friend Don Dibble with Freedom Boat Club. Don, it's nice to have you with us.
Good morning, Nathan. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite things, boating in Southwest Florida.
As am I.
Good. So I was sharing with you, when a lot of our clients, they move here from another location, whether it be Minnesota, Wisconsin, New Jersey, New York, they're moving to Florida because they want a boat.
Exactly.
They want to be on those pretty Southwest Florida waters, and that's why they want to be here. So
not for the mountains, is it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and I've lived here all my life. So, I have owned, various boats in my life. I've owned jet skis. I've rented boats. I've even belonged to another boat club. But, I tell all my clients the best way to boat in Southwest Florida is Freedom Boat Club. So that's why I wanted to have you here to talk a little bit about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, again, when I talk about Freedom Boat Club, Don, people say, well, what is Freedom Boat Club? And I'll kind of say, it's kind of like timeshare with boating is the best way
That's pretty close. We are a members-only boat club, and we're sort of filling the gap between ownership and boat rentals.
Yeah.
So if you've rented a boat for a while and you realize how expensive that is and you want to progress more and do more boating, we're a perfect alternative for you. And if you've had a boat like yourself and you realize how much work there is involved with it and how much cost, we're also a perfect alternative for you.
Oh, my goodness. The last thing I want to do is work on a boat. I mean, it's hot out there. It's expensive if you take it in to get fixed, right? So, it's one of the advantages of belonging to Freedom Boat Club. So, one of the things I love about Freedom Boat Club, and specifically this particular area, is there's a lot of locations to take a boat from. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, we have 21 locations from Braden to down to Marco Island, which share a common reservation system. So when you have access to that, go on, select your location you'd like to boat out of that day and the vessel and book it yourself.
Right. And that's all done pretty much right on your phone, right?
Yeah, you can do that on your phone, website. There's an app for it as well.
That's great. And you can, I think, how many reservations can you typically have open at any given time?
Well, all members are guaranteed 4 future reservations on the books at all times. They are rolling reservations. So after you complete your boating day, about 10 o'clock or a little later that night, the reservation system that you manage on our website will clear it. You go right back on to replace with another one, always maintaining 4 future reservations on the books at all times.
That's nice. That's one of the things I like is I can kind of plan out my boating days well in advance.
Exactly.
And with, all the locations that you talked about, maybe we can talk about a few of them. Some of the ones I've gone out of, we were just talking about Burnstone Marina. That's one of my favorite ones because, you get on a boat, you shoot right out of the marina, right into open water.
Exactly.
You don't have too many markers you got to worry about. Just, don't hit a boat. But outside of that, you're out, near Cayo Costa, you're, near Usepa, Boca Grande, all those places that a lot of people who live, say, in, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, they like to go to. But how much longer does it take to get by water when you start there versus starting at Burnstone Marina, right?
But the nice thing about us is we have in this area about a 35-minute drive of Cape Coral, or Fort Myers. We have 7 of those locations and about 190 of our 500 plus boats. So you have great availability, and you'll never get bored going out of the same location every time. I call that Groundhog Day.
Right.
Go out, have some new adventures on some water you've never explored before.
Sure. Yeah, I've gone, Bonita Springs, obviously Fort Myers Beach. You can, head up toward, I've boated in Venice, like you said, it's kind of neat to see all these different locations. And I know some of your memberships allow even reciprocals to other locations as well.
That's correct. If you have one of our year-round memberships, either a full week or weekday only, and you go out of your area, if any of those locations may be used 4 times per year per each location. And we have another 330 locations outside of this area. So there's a lot of boating to be had if you're traveling.
330 locations. So
Plus our 21.
Plus your 20. So I could boat almost every single day if I wanted to with Freedom Boat Club. I love it. I love it. Tell us a little bit about some of the boats that you have, because, you know, some people, Freedom Boat Club may not be, you know, the best for them because they want a, 38-foot cruiser or something like that. But
Correct.
So tell everybody a little bit about the type of boats.
I think it's important for all of our prospective members to understand that we are in the 17 to 24 day boating range. 17 to 24 foot day boating range.
Yeah.
Everything from 17-foot Boston Whaler skiffs up to 24-foot cobias with a single 250. Outboard center consoles that can go out 25 miles into the Gulf.
Oh, wow.
So, but there are some people. If you're looking for cabins and galleys and heads and twin motors, we're not for you. But if you want to get out with a family and have a great day on the water, bring the boat back in, drop it off, and just walk away from it, we are definitely for you.
Absolutely. And I know I've taken out 24-foot cobia out of Burnstone Marina. Man, that is a beautiful boat.
Nice big heavy boat.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, you guys really do care for your boats. I mean, this isn't like walking up to a boat rental place where you can tell that these things have been beat up a lot. I mean, Tell us a little bit about the quality of the boat.
Well, we are owned by Brunswick, largest manufacturer of boats in the world. It's important to them to always have nice boats out in front of their public. And so all fiberglass boats are rotated out of the fleet every 36 months, pontoons every 24 months. So you'll never see an old beat-up boat. By the time that 36 months and 1 day is up, you better believe there's a new boat coming in from Brunswick and on a trailer to pick up the old one and drop that one off for our members to use.
Yeah, I've had friends who would come out with us, and that's one of the things that they would always comment, like, wow, this is a really nice boat, because I think they were expecting kind of that rental, rental look, right?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I've always been impressed, and it doesn't matter really what location. I've boated from, Panama City Beach all the way down, to our neck of the woods here, and that is consistent. That Freedom Boat Club really does care for the boats, and if there's one that's not in service, they take it out, they fix it.
Correct.
And it comes back. They don't send you out there with a 75% quality boat.
Never.
Because all you're asking is to call Cito, right?
Exactly. Nobody has that's a bad day for everyone.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that impressed me, even though that I've boated in Southwest Florida for a long time, they didn't say, well, that's great, here, the keys go. There is a little bit of training that's involved.
There's a lot of training involved. In fact, it's unlimited and included in your training, your entry fee. Okay. If you took the 3 courses that are available to you, again, it's unlimited and included. If you take just those, you'll have 4 hours of classroom, 8 hours on the water with a Coast Guard licensed captain. So it's broken down into three different training courses. The new member orientation, which consists of a 4-hour training, 2 hours classroom. You'll go over rules of the road, channel markers, things of that nature. Then you go out in the water with a licensed captain, spend 2 hours with him out there, and you'll just do very simple docking, 3-point turns, just to prove that you can handle a boat. You're safe to go out on your own. We're going to ask you to do 4 trips on your own, 4 reservations, and just to do some practicing. Then you qualify for an intermediate course, which is optional, but it's more close quarter maneuvering, more challenging docking, emergency stop procedures, man overboard drills, things that all boaters should know. Many do not or haven't done in a long time. So it's a great opportunity to hone your skills as well.
Yeah.
4 more trips on your own for a total of 8, and you can take your offshore. You'll go out in one of our offshore training locations, which down here, Salty Sam's in Fort Myers Beach, Pineland Marine over in Pine Island, and Burnstone that you mentioned earlier over in the southern end of Charlotte Harbor. Yeah. You'll get on one of those 24-foot cobias. You'll work the trim tabs, keep the boat nice and level, go out into the Gulf, again, with a Coast Guard licensed captain after 1 hour of classroom, and you'll set a second anchor so your stern doesn't wash up in the beach. You know how to do that safely. You'll do some simple compass readings, navigation by chart. Mm-hmm. After that, you can take those 24-foot cobias out as far as 25 miles, or our inshore-offshore boats that are allowed to go both out in the Gulf and inshore, and they consist of our 21-foot cobia bay boats, the 22-foot trophy bay boats, which have more gunnel. They're allowed to go out in the Gulf 1 mile, along with our Scout Dorados. Mm-hmm. They'll hold 7. They have a little live bait well under the aft port seat, all as a cruising boat, and 4 rod holders on the transom. So if you want to do a little cruising and a little throw a line out once in a while, you can do that as well.
Right.
And then our modified V-hull deck boats, which hold 8 to 10 people, those are allowed to go out to golf as well.
Okay, yeah, and those are fun, right? Because it's not a pontoon boat. It's got the right hull to go out in the Gulf.
Sportier version of a pontoon.
Yeah,
right?
a little sportier version. Yeah. It's kind of what do we call party in the back? All business in the front. Kind of boat.
That's it.
So some of my favorite ones, but yeah, the training program. I've boated a long time, but I really did learn some good things, and we know in Southwest Florida, boating can get kind of tricky with these intercoastal waters, right? We got the, do I stay, to the right of the red, to the left of the red? I've got, channels going this way, channels going that way. And we know depending on the tides, it can get real easy to run aground.
Absolutely.
So, that training comes in real important.
It sure does. And one thing else we offer is a local knowledge tour or local orientation. Anytime you go to a new location you never boated out of before, we don't want to send you out there cold. So you ask for it in advance. So we have a licensed captain available for you. He'll get on board with you. By this time, you're already trained. So it's your boat and your fuel and you're the captain, but he'll get on board with you. He would guide you out from the dock down to the local river or open water, whatever the case may be. He'll point out any areas that are hazardous or challenging for your safety, bars, restaurants, and beaches for your entertainment. And basically, just anything will contribute to a safe and happy boating day. The lore, the history of the area as well. When you feel comfortable, just bring them back to the dock or drop them off. There is no charge for that as well. We always want you to have a safe and happy boating experience each and every time you go out.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, we know that running aground is not a fun day for the family, right? And I have never done that. But, it happens in Southwest Florida, right?
Yes,
so like you said,
a lot of water, very shallow.
That's right. Yeah. So getting some local knowledge, especially again, for our friends that have moved here from somewhere else, that's really important. And the fact that Freedom Boat Club takes the time to do that is fantastic. Correct. And, the other thing is, when you bring it back, I don't know if it's this way at every one of your docks, but it's been my experience is they fuel it there. So I don't have to go find a fuel station on the water, which can eat up a half an hour to an hour of your time just trying to find one, waiting for other boats to clear, then fueling it up, so on and so forth. So is that the case?
That's correct. And there is no markup for the fuel. Whatever the fuel docks are charging us is what we charge you.
Nice.
There's a digital flow meter in each boat, so we know what you left with and what you returned with. To within a tenth of a gallon, we know exactly what you used. The cost of that fuel will go on a credit card you have on file with us, or if you have a friend, I don't know any of them, but that would like to pay for your fuel, they're certainly welcome to swipe their card as well.
They get those alligator arms right at the end. I don't know what it is. They grab their cooler and before I know it, they're gone. Yeah. I'm like, hey, help me clean. Oh, by the way, I don't have to clean the boat. That's wonderful, right? Yeah.
That's correct.
That's one of the favorite things when I owned a boat was, they always disappeared and I was the guy flushing the engine. So no, one of the beauties of Freedom Boat Club, you don't have to worry about that. The final thing, just again, cost. I mean, you and I talked about that a little bit here before we turned this on. There's a lot of cost into owning a boat.
Absolutely.
And really, what are the advantages then cost-wise of belonging to Freedom Boat Club versus owning a boat?
Very low entry fee or, getting into the boating itself. Right now, we generally has been offered at $7,000 for a lifetime membership. That's for both yourself and your spouse or domestic partner sharing the same domicile. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right now it is on promotion for $5,500.
Oh, wow.
Great savings to take advantage of. Mm-hmm. Then you have your monthly dues, which are depending on the type of plan you have, 3-month, 6-month seasonal, year-round full week or year-round weekday only is what you pay each month. And they're roughly the equivalent of a slip fee or storage fee if you have your own boat, or one boat rental a month if you don't own your own boat, and you have unlimited use of those boats for the.
Yeah, and you make a good point. Even if you can afford the boat, afford the payment, now you got to figure out where to put it, right?
Exactly.
So you pay those storage fees, and that's, like you said, that's the equivalent of what you're going to pay each month to Freedom Boat Club. Right. And you don't have to put it on a trailer and take it anywhere. As you mentioned, 21 locations that you can go, take a boat out of. So, I got to say, all this talk about boating makes me want to go make a reservation on my phone right now.
There you go.
Yeah. I really appreciate, Don, you taking the time being with us here today.
My pleasure.
Don, could you share your contact information with our listeners?
Sure. My name is Don Dibble, and I can be reached at 239-887-0161. And I'm the membership executive for the Fort Myers locations. We have other membership executives for Fort Myers Beach, as well as Cape Coral and Pine Island, and Birdstore and Lashley on Charlotte Harbor.
Okay, fantastic. And this is Nathan Davis with the More Than Mortgage podcast and community lending. Don't forget, we do mortgages too. 239-898-8841. Don, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for
it.
coming.
My pleasure.